Hello everybody, and welcome to our Full Nova Zero video for Halo 4. This is just my first impressions of the multiplayer portion of the game. I am actually going to be saving a lot of the single player and even the co-op, I guess, portion of the game until the weekend, but there's quite a bit of Halo to delve into until that time, so I'm really not too worried about that at all. I feel like there's still a lot to play here. So first thing that I was able to find was that this game definitely feels like it's a lot more customizable than previous Halo games, and that's even counting Halo Reach, which I remember having quite a bit of customization tools. This feels more akin to, maybe not surprisingly, Call of Duty. And, it's not a bad thing in the idea of, like, I might be a little bit distracted trying to talk, so my play stuff might be really bad, but to be honest, the customization has been one of the reasons that a lot of people have flocked to Halo 3, or I'm sorry, not Halo 3, but Call of Duty, pretty much any of the Call of Duty games. Still retains quite a bit of the old school Halo lore. There's still quite a bit of meleeing involved. There's shields, there's radars ever present. I'm sure there's many different modes. Everything, like different types of shield modes and all that. And everything feels pretty solid right now. What I'm really liking is that I like the idea that everything just feels really tight. I don't know what it is about it, but this is like one of the reasons I like Modern Warfare 2 so much was because the controls were so tight and I could always rely on them. Oh, that guy messed around with my radar. I was paying attention to my radar a little too much, and he was one of the tricks is this has always been around in Halo. You can crouch down, and it'll basically make you invisible to people who are paying attention. This guy's being a jerk off, but I like that though. So people are already taking advantage of old school Halo styles. But anyway, I was talking about the controls though. The controls are just so tight. I don't know. It's just something about it. I would venture to say a little tighter than I felt like they were in Halo Reach. And it was probably one of the reasons that I ended up not playing that game so much. Halo Reach was it was pretty solid, but at the end of the day, it just had problems with the way it felt to me. I don't know what it was about it. Let's see if we can grab some melee kills. When I talk about tightness, a lot of what I'm talking about is really with just from like grabbing your gun out to shooting, and like it's got to just feel right. It's got to have it's a really weird sense of like a satisfactory feeling, and if it can pull it off, then I feel like it's a big win in controls and tightness. Whoa! I don't know what that was. There's still some new guns in this game I'm getting a little used to. There's been a few of the Prothean guns that I really like, and one is the scatter shot. I believe it's a Prothean gun. I haven't actually played the single player, as I told you just a moment ago, so I don't know which was which, but... Oh, I knew I was going to die on that one. And I can tell there's even a few new marine weapons. I couldn't even name them right now if I wanted to because I've only played so many matches. Oh boy. And I still have a tendency to get into my old school Call of Duty sense of pressing in on that zoom button. Kind of haphazardly. I was very disciplined back when I used to play Modern Warfare 2 a lot, but I've since... Come on, I'm hoping somebody else picked up. But I've since lost a lot of that, so I'm finding myself kind of just shaking off a lot of dust right now. I can pull off some pretty sweet kills sometimes. I can pull off some really good tactics. And I think the main real differentiator that this game has to a lot of other first-person shooter games that are out there, especially all the Call of Duty clones that are out there, is that this game really feels good when you're trying to be tactical, and you actually have a moment to get around somebody. Say if you have a sense of the map and just a sense of like the best place to go, you can usually get away with that in this game. Oh gosh. The melee's a little bit quicker than I remember. It just has a sense of tactics, and if you have map control, it tends to work a little better than some of, at least the recent Call of Duty. And what I have to really say, the compliments that I have to really give to 343 on this are that, oh, there's the scatter. This is a neat new feature. If you get enough kills, you get sort of a perk, and you can lay down a weapon. And it's kind of a weird system, to be honest. I couldn't quite pull it off. Kind of a weird system, but it's a little bit of a challenge to Call of Duty's perk system that maybe is a little more meta, and this one puts a lot more on the actual player skill. Just putting a new weapon in your hand, since weapons tend to be the focus of this game, as in past games. But anyway, I got a little distracted there. I really wanted to say that the map design is probably one of the best map designs I have seen in any recent game, and that is really saying quite a bit. It's almost as few as like one, not even like a round, but like just a couple of quick sprints through. Ooh, we got a double kill. Just a quick sprint through the map area. Really, it got me a sense of like where I was, and I was able to take advantage of some of the areas, and I think that's really just amazing. Wow. I think that's amazing in map design. I think that's really hard to pull off, especially you know, Call of Duty games are very. I think there's an advantage to the Halo style because everything's kind of clean edged. That was terrible. Oh my god, that was so bad. That was. I'm sorry you guys saw it, because that was really horrible. But to get a sense of like what the map layout is, only a few minutes into playing any of the maps is a really hard feat to pull off. And you won't see that in Call of Duty games because there's just so much going on with the maps. That's sort of an advantage sometimes because you can use how the maps are. Use how the maps work to your advantage, but oh boy. You can use the maps to your advantage in Call of Duty because there's so much debris going on. There's a lot of areas you can snipe in, keep yourself concealed. There's a lot of that going on. There's also like a lot of just nuances to the way the map works. I got a kill at least. A lot of nuances to how the map works in that game, but this game the edges are all clean and it's really easy to understand, and I can tell 343 took that to the utmost advantage that they could, and I appreciate that. Figuring out just how, I guess I got the top score, but our team kind of sucked. Mostly because I sucked, I guess. But, well, I guess I did get the top score, so maybe I can give myself a little credit on that one. But map design is so important on any game, any first-person shooter game I've ever played, and getting it right can really be a make or break. I think that it's one of those make or breaks that people just don't think about when they're reviewing these games from a multiplayer perspective. I think one of the things that I thought about when I played Modern Warfare 2 was that it had quite a few of its good maps, you know, a share of its good maps, but I really wanted a lot of the maps back from Call of Duty 4, which was almost perfection in map design. I don't believe there was a map on that game that I didn't like. Now I'm talking about a Halo game right now, so I should probably mention Halo games. Halo 3 had an incredible map design. There was only a few that I maybe had issue with because they were a little too big or whatever. I think there was a couple that were a little that just had me confused, and I would be hard-pressed to mention them by name because it's been so long since I've played that game now. But it's just a hard thing to pull off. It really is. Now, Reach, I don't remember really there being any definitive maps that stood out to me, but I will stress that I did not really get into Reach whatsoever. I played it for
Infinity Slayer.
I like that one with the corridors. I'm trying to remember what it was, where it had different levels. It's a very vertical map, and I kind of like that. But other than that, I played a bunch of the beta, and then I played probably a good month or so of Reach, and then I just I simply got bored of it, mostly because we were just way outclassed playing anybody online. I'm noticing that at least playing by myself, I seem to have somewhat of an advantage in my tactics. I don't know if I have any advantage in actual skills yet. I don't think I do. But I think a lot of it has to do with shaking out a lot of the dust. Oh, you have one of those. Gotcha. Took a risk on that one. There's a lot of battle sense here. There's a lot of, like, you need to get a sense of the field, what's happening in the battle, where your teammates are, and I only have a little bit of a sense of that. That was always my advantage in the Call of Duty games, is that I always had a good team that I could trust. I could trust where they were going to be at any time. Not because we trained or anything, but because we played with them together so often that we just had a weird... what's the right word for that? Just a weird way of playing with each other that we just knew where each other were going to be, and I don't think these guys are very good. We just knew, like, we could just play off of each other really well, and oh, that wasn't good. Play off each other where we were all going to be. I didn't really have, in Halo 3 I actually played quite a bit of, but I didn't quite have the same relationship in that game. It was a lot more, for me on that game, it was a lot more about the, oh boy, this guy's not going to be kind to us. I can take that. I'm going to see if I can make a... Oh, okay, that didn't work at all. In Halo 3, I felt like it was a little more of the individual skill being the best thing, or the best advantage that I had in that game. Not to say that I was the greatest guy or anything like that, but if we won games, it was because we were doing well on an individual basis and not because we were doing well as a team. And that was not the case for Modern Warfare 3, where we did have a handful of people who were incredibly good at the game on an individual basis. But we worked so well as a team that we were always able to pull off extremely good wins. I'm predicting that anybody who watches this who maybe is like a really hardcore Halo player, they're going to see that I make tons of mistakes, and that's very fair. I don't mind a little bit of criticism, but take it all with a grain of salt, because I'm really not a primary Halo player at all. What is that thing? I didn't even know what that was. It looked like a robot or something. Okay, I want to know. Scatterbots are kind of cool. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Okay. I keep doing this stupid thing where I zoom in by accident. That's totally just a mistake on my part. That bad habit to die hard, I guess. Ah, what am I doing? Come on, this is so bad. Aiming. There we go. Ah, I couldn't quite reach him in time. So my first impression, I guess, is that the Halo 4 multiplayer it's good. It's overall pretty good, but mostly because it gets all the fundamentals right. We'll have to see how it builds off of that, though. I think that's a really good question right now. I'll have to see how I do with a team setting. You know, whether there's an advantage in that. I always think there should be an advantage to playing with other people. But a lot of games don't reward team play very much. And you'll have to see how that goes. It's hard to explain that sometimes, but games like Modern Warfare, well, any Call of Duty game really, they do emphasize a lot on that. Oh, that was so horribly done. I got a little caught up in the fact that I was reloading my gun. I like how this is half and half, just me verbally abusing myself. That hologram thing is almost... It's weird. I don't know how useful it is either. I'm sure it's got its uses. So, it has a lot of the fundamentals right, but let me give it some other compliments. I'm having a hard time finding anything that I dislike about it, but I'm sure I'll get to something as I play it more. But I really like the sound effects so far. Everything just has this really metallic twang and just punch to it. When I fire a gun, it feels so awesome. Like it just something about it just feels satisfying. It's hard to put my finger on how they did it, but it feels a little more metallic and a little more satisfying than than say the original. Oh, come on, dude. Than some of the original Halo games have. I like that too. It's just the satisfying feeling when I'm firing my gun, and that can be really hard to pull off a lot of times. A lot of times it can feel pretty cheesy in that regard. And then map design. Map design is just incredibly good right now. And I couldn't... I didn't... I know I mentioned it.
Enemy team nearing victory. 5 minutes remain.
I know I mentioned it more in length earlier, but I just kind of wanted to reiterate that the map design is very intuitive and very good. From the grave. I like that, of course, that they've kept a lot of old school Halo parts of it, but I'll show you guys more of what the customization part of it, and I think this is where it's going to be a major advantage. Oh boy. Going forward is lasting value-wise. I think it is going to actually do pretty well. Unlocking guns. Oh, something stopped very suddenly. It must be changing servers or something. That was a very abrupt ending, or server change. I don't know what that was. I guarantee that I have far more deaths than I have kills right now. Oh, very abrupt entering in the game too. Apparently, no countdown.
Infinity Slayer.
There's likely a lot of nuances, little things that I'm probably not going to like too much. You know, like that, like reconnecting to a server and there's no countdown when you're actually getting back in. That can be kind of annoying. But that's my first experience with that, so maybe it's not going to be so bad. Topped my team, but I can't say that's really much of an achievement right now, as my skill level's still pretty low as I shake a lot of the dust off. And even if I shook all the dust off, I would probably still be a fairly low level compared to many of the much more decorated and veteran Halo players. I mean, this is not a franchise I've been in love with in the past, so I haven't really spent a lot of time with trying to get myself to a really high level. So 10 and 12 is not really that impressive. Somebody on their team is doing really fantastic. So let me take a moment to, oh, and let me just see here. I wasn't really too sure if I like this area yet because I haven't spent too much time, but you get to see what everybody looks like. That's pretty neat. You get to cast your vote on one of 3 maps. You can easily check out people's stuff. That's all pretty standard, but it just looks good on this one. I'd like to get out of here, actually. I don't actually want to play this map right now. I'll back up, I guess, in a second. It's not too surprising that this game is as good as it is on the fundamental levels because a lot of it was there to begin with. There is a lot of Call of Duty influence on this. I can definitely tell you that's the case here.
Infinity Slayer.
You know, from even just like the choosing your layout, I know that was there, but it was so bare bones in that game. It was only designed to be you know, just sort of like, oh, well, we're still Halo, and we still want to be Halo, but we're going to add in a little bit of Call of Duty just to, you know, kind of appeal to that. There's like an inner desire to say, like, okay, I really want to be able to choose what my weapons are going into battle and all that. So, but this game definitely takes it to the next level, and I appreciate that to a huge degree. This does take it to the Call of Duty level of customizing your entire layout, and some might even say that this is sort of the death knell in that battle, I guess, between you know, the Halo Halo style of multiplayer, you know, just picking up weapons out in the field or choosing your weapons beforehand. Now, it doesn't take it to the Call of Duty extreme of only being able to choose your weapons before you go in. The reason for that's pretty obvious, you know, that you don't last very long in a Call of Duty match, you know, from life to life, but in the Halo match you do, so I feel like the idea of having weapons be scattered around on the map, that's actually pretty important. They did it in a, I'm trying to remember the last Call of Duty game I played, which I think was Modern Warfare 3. That had a system for unlocking with credits, I believe, and this one does a similar thing. So each weapon and everything costs a certain amount, and so you'll spend your credits on that to unlock that weapon. You'll unlock more loadouts as you reach more ranks, and then what's kind of fun, I think this has actually been a pretty big advantage of the Halo games in the past, is that you get to actually customize what your armor looks like. I've always thought this is a pretty neat part of it, making your armor look kind of unique. I don't know what you get to do here. I think this is more of like stylizing what your colors look like in free-for-all or something. That always never really came up much for me, I'm afraid. So the other parts I want to check out, I've really just been checking out more of the fundamental parts of it. What I've been looking into just on my first plays of the game today is this Infinity Slayer mode, which is just your standard 4-on-4 Slayer mode. It's just you know, team deathmatch. Seems to always be the most popular mode on pretty much any game, any first-person shooter game I've played. But I haven't tried any of these other ones yet, so I'm kind of interested to see how they play out. So we have Dominion, Regicide, I don't even know what that is, Flood, not sure what that is, it's probably some sort of co-op deal. Capture the Flag, that's pretty self-explanatory. Oddball's always a classic, King of the Hill is a classic. Team Slayer Pro is actually pretty much a classic. Well, I haven't played it in this one yet, but I imagine it does like the old games where you have where you don't have shields and you want to make headshots, basically. But then the other parts that I want to check out are the Spartan Ops area, which is like a co-op part of the game, and this looks pretty fun. I'm not really sure how it plays out or really much about it, so I don't want to get too far into it or anything. Apparently they released the episodes. Like, this is all stuff I don't even know about not yet. I can't really say I was that interested in Halo 4 up until like the last week when I ordered it, and I read all the reviews were great and everything. But even then I didn't read. I tried to not read into the reviews as much as possible, so a lot of this stuff would be self-discovery. You know, finding out most of the story on my own, even some of the gameplay options and stuff. So I tend to like doing that on a lot of big games that I know I'm gonna get this anyway. I'm kind of just ranting now, I guess, but so I'll check out all this stuff in some point in the future, but for now I can definitely say the core multiplayer gameplay is solid. It's entertaining, it's fun, and it's competitive, and I can definitely tell it's something that you're probably going to want to play with your friends a lot. So I can't really give more of a recommendation than that, I guess, for just the core, the core reason that people like Halo games. So those are my first impressions of the multiplayer portion of Halo. I definitely appreciate you guys checking this out, and please check out more of our videos on YouTube, as well as on fullnovazero.com. We also try and do a daily play show from around 8 o'clock to 9 every day on weekdays on Twitch TV. You can follow us on twitchtv.com/fullnovazero, and as well as our Twitter account, Twitter/fullnovazero, I believe. Well, anyway, you guys, thank you very much for watching, and you all guys have a good one.